Yes, I can.
President Obama will go down as perhaps the worst president in the history of the United States! Exclamation point at real Donald Trump. Well, at real Donald Trump, at least I will go down as a president.
Today we are here to discuss some more meltdowns. Oh my gosh, man, liberal media is going insane. And finally, The View has decided to respond. We're gonna dive into that. But my question to you guys today, and it's an actual question. I'm not asking this rhetorically. How many friends did you lose today? Or how many friends did you lose today? Yeah, I just lost somebody whom, well, not lost, right? Somebody removed themselves amongst others on my Facebook page today. Yeah, because they are pretty mad. And, you know, one of them was pretty mad that I said, hey, I want to talk policy, not feelings. And once I literally listed out he was like, just list out one thing that Trump is going to do that will help you, impact, you positively in any kind of way, and this, that, and the third. And I'm going, okay. Wrote out a whole list, and I didn't even mention immigration or the economy. I brought up stuff like healthcare. I brought up, the second step back. I brought up, obviously, tax cuts, and also, being able to bring back jobs to help us, in the black community. Yeah, man, all that. I brought up all these things, and right after that, he goes, oh, you really think he's going to do all that? Sorry, bro. Got to let you go. And I was like, wow. Mind you, this is an individual whom we were struggling together, at one point. And, we was bros. And I remember, we had this relationship to where we were, music artists. So I was doing a lot of production for him, in-house, no charge, none of that. Recording a lot of the material, no charge. So, yeah, man, it goes to show you just how quickly things can change. Now, about The View.
I'm surprised at the result, but I'm not surprised. As a woman of color, I was so hopeful that a mixed race woman married to a Jewish guy could be elected president of this country. Mm-hmm. And I think that it had nothing to do with policy. I think this was a referendum of cultural resentment in this country.
Well, I think it...
Man, she threw the whole deck of race cards that she had down. I mean, just brat. Oh my gosh. I love this comment from David. It says, how much identity politics can a person pack into a single sentence? Quote, as a woman of color, I was so hopeful that a mixed race woman married to a Jewish guy could be elected president of this country. End quote. Sorry, lady. Only racist, sexist, leftists care about these things. MAGA 2024, baby. Oh man, seeing this meltdown from The View is something that we've all been waiting on. When I woke up this morning, I've seen nothing but timeline tweets saying, I can't wait to hear The View's response. What channel does The View come on? I think Candace Owens said, what time does The View come on? She needs to know. The trolling has been going on. I mean, these people, whoo. But I'm gonna tell you this, we as Americans, we are done with identity politics and all of that fear-mongering stuff. Nah, man, this is the beginning of the end of DEI, and I'm loving every bit of it. I'm so tired of hearing all of this racist crap. Kamala lost because she did not have what it takes. That's point blank, period. Y'all try to make it about everything else, but come on, man. What a cultural resentment towards the ideology, philosophy, and worldwide view of the left. Maybe yeah, we'll take that. We'll agree to that. But yeah, you finna watch some of these meltdowns, y'all. We have right now a woman whom is saying that, I don't even know what she's saying. She's melting down. But you know what? Before we dive into that, I see some more View. My fault. I'm veering off a little too quick. I'm a little meltdown trigger happy.
Profoundly disturbed. I think if you look at the New York Times this morning, the headline was America makes a perilous choice. I think that in 2016, we didn't know what we would get from a Trump administration, but we know now. And we know now that he will have almost unfettered power. And so I worry Not about myself, actually. I don't worry about my station in life. I worry about the working class. I worry about my mother, a retired teacher. I worry about our elderly and their Social Security and their Medicare. I worry about my children's future, especially my daughter, who now has less rights than I have. And I remember my father telling me many, many years ago that I was the first person in his family to enjoy full civil rights. And now I have less civil rights than I had when he told me that. So again, I am profoundly disturbed that the 14th Amendment of the Constitution did not prevent someone who participated in an insurrection from becoming president of the United States. I think that going forward, the convicted felon box on employment applications better be taken off, because if you can be the president of the United States.
Like I dressed up for the occasion too. It says, host of The View dressed in all black to mourn the funeral of Kamala Harris and the Democrats while Sunny Holston tears up. What a glorious day to be alive. Yes, this is. I mean, these people are really like off their rockers, man. Like, really, like we gonna show y'all a few videos, but y'all seen the clip I played earlier, all of them screaming all over social media. Yeah, that's pretty much what they are doing right now with identity politics and all that. These people, man, they gonna make, Trump life much easier with responses like this. I'm trying to tell you, man, more and more people are falling off of this Democrat plantation for sure. And you think it's just gonna stop now? Just because, he's already in office? Nah, man. We got some people wake up to the facts. I've had a conversation with two individuals since they voted for Kamala, and now they're like, hey, man, tell me some more about what you were saying. Oh, wow, I didn't know that. So, I mean, we setting up, already brewing up for 2029, y'all. I'm telling y'all, we got to work on this thing early. But The View pushing nonsense. Let's hear some of the people talk about their perspective on it.
As a woman of color, I was so hopeful that a mixed race woman married to a Jewish guy could be elected president of this country. I think that it had nothing to do with policy. I think this was a referendum of cultural resentment in this country. Well,
and here I was thinking that The View would finally wake up and stop pushing propaganda and do some self-reflection. Boy, was I wrong. They're still pushing the race and gender narrative. You do realize the nonsense that you continue to spew helped get Trump elected, right? It wasn't only white people voting for Trump. There's many people who look like me who voted for him. There's many Latinos who voted for him. There's many Asians who voted for him. People from all kinds of backgrounds voted for him. This was about policy for us. Democrats chose a candidate who's been in office as vice president for the last 4 years and helped the current president implement policies that affected our lives in a negative way. Come outside of your bubble. Talk to some real Americans. Why do you think independents showed up for Donald Trump? Democrats have lost their way. They're more worried about dividing Americans by gender, by race, by this, by that, than actually making America better. We don't care what the gender is of the politician. We don't care what the race is of the politician. We care about their policies and how they're going to affect our lives. This isn't rocket science. It's the day of reckoning. The American people are taking their country back from the establishment, back from you elitists that are clueless about what everyday Americans are facing. Wake up.
You would think there's a little bit of humanity somewhere down the line in there, right? Somewhere there's going to be, you know what, guys, it's about time for us to, turn the page on the BS that we've been talking about. It's time for us to be unburdened by what has been and finally actually start trying to present some truth and not instead of all this feeling. I don't know, man. I don't think The View is going to change. But hey, come on. If you're in the MAGA and you support this movement, let's be what we want our nation to be. We will not participate in a division. That goes to Kamala Harris, Joe Biden, goes for Hillary Clinton, Maddow, MSNBC, and then, and The View, everybody.
I'm sure there's a lot of people who's expecting me to glow, laugh, and throw it in the Democrat faces because Donald Trump had such an amazing turnout, because so many patriots came out to have their voices heard. I'm not going to do that. I'm definitely not going to do that. What I'm going to say is this. What you saw last night was the American people saying, we're tired of Democrats fucking with our children. We're tired of the mainstream media colluding with the Democrats. to mess with our children. We're tired of the mainstream media colluding with Democrats as well as the rhinos who are on the right to poison our food supply and basically just strip away our rights. This was us saying no more. But what's going to happen is this. The news media hasn't got the memo. You're a dying, dead dinosaur. It's over for you. So you can continue to tell the American people that Donald Trump is a fascist and a racist and that men are misogynists and that we're racists and Nazis and all other bullshit that the majority of Americans already said is not true. Or you can start doing the right thing, start apologizing for the lies and salacious shit you've been saying for the last 8 years and get to be in the news again. How about you report something that's real, truthful, and factual? How about you stop with the propaganda and stop trying to divide the nation? Something has to be done about the mainstream media because it's them that got the nation really divided and fucked up. They've been doing it on behalf of Democrats and rhinos.
You would think that they would try to save some sort of face, but I mean, they ain't got no shame in their game. At least they owning up to it, right? Sticking, 10 toes down on it. No, I'll take that back. They need to grow up here and go ahead and start telling the truth. The news isn't the news. It's always been just fear mongering. I've never said this out loud, but I think I have a deep resentment towards the mainstream media. I've never said this out loud, but because of just watching my OG grow up as I was growing up, and just watching so much of what she would or wouldn't do be based off of what she learned on the news. And it was just always disheartening, hey, it's so much life to live, but you don't want to do this because this happened on the news and you think it can happen to you. I'm not saying it couldn't at all. I'm not saying that it couldn't, but because of that, you just don't experience life, and it's just sad. But back to The View, they wonder why, Sonny Halston specifically wonders why uneducated white women and Latino men aren't smart enough to go vote in their own best interest. Quote, black women tried to save this country again last night.
Well, I want to dig further into the demographics because black women tried to save this country again last night. 92% of black women voted for the vice president. You have Latinas in the 70 percentile voting for the vice president. What we did not have is white women who voted about 52%, right, for Donald Trump. Uneducated white women is my understanding. You have Latino men actually voting more for him. And you have, and black men was not the story. We're not the story here because they voted almost 80% for the vice president. Right. So why do you think that uneducated white women voted against their reproductive health freedoms? And why do you think Latino men voted in favor of someone that's going to says he's going to deport the majority of his community?
White women like being called uneducated white women. I think the economy matters, national security matters. But when you put people in these boxes, I think that's a takeaway from this race.
We have to look at the demographics of it.
Just more and more insults now. Obviously, I'm not a white woman. I can identify as one according to their logic. So, let's just say I am a white woman, and you guys, you want to sit there and call me uneducated just because I didn't vote for, the things that you guys like to spew at us. But you know what? I can hit you back with the same because based on the responses in my timeline after the results of this election, I can tell who paid attention in social studies class and who didn't.